16, should be. Welcome to the May 13th, 2026 meeting of the City of Lake Forest Plan Commission. I am Mark Pasquesi, Chairman of the Commission. At this time, I would like to ask members of the Commission to introduce themselves, starting at my far right.
Lisa Nearing.
Barrett Davy. Louis Pickus.
Paul Thomas.
And also present, Kathy Cerniak, Director of Community Development. At this time, we'll do consideration of the minutes of the January 14th, 2026 Plan Commission meeting. Do we have any questions or comments, or do I hear a motion?
So moved.
All in favor of approving the minutes from the January 14th meeting?
Aye.
Motion passes. All right. Next item on the agenda is a request for recommendation in support of a two-parcel subdivision for the purpose of separating a single-family residence at 363 East Westminster from the condominium parcel addressed at 715, 719 McKinley Road. No changes to the existing conditions are proposed. Approval of the subdivision through a special use permit. Property owners, Ogborn Joint Trust, Stephen B. and Pamela L. Ogborn, 715 North McKinley LLC, presented by Peter Whitmer, architect. At this time, I'll ask the board for any declaration of conflicts of interest or ex parte contacts. None. Hearing none, we'll move on. I'll swear in the petitioner and anyone else who intends to testify. Please raise your right hand. Thank you. Do you solemnly declare and affirm that the testimony you are about to give is true and correct to your best knowledge?
I do.
Thank you. Please proceed.
Thank you. This is a pretty straightforward request. The house, the residence was part of a PUD in the development. It was set up in the condominium as the owner of, Steve had not bought the house when we did the development, but we set it up as all the maintenance and exterior landscape, building maintenance, all the things are onto the homeowner. So really, when we do this switch, there won't be any changing of the maintenance of that. The other thing I'd point out too is the land that has been designated for the house is the sidewalk. There's the road, there's an easement for the sidewalk for not only for the owner of the house itself, but for the other condominium and really the general public too. And that sidewalk is actually part of the condominium, not part of the house. So I think that's an important thing. So in the future, because this is not a public road, it's a private road. So, if they want to replace the sidewalk all the way around, which is going to deteriorate at the same time, so in 15 years, 20 years, or whatever that needs, that they can do it. It really isn't up to the homeowner of the home at that time to do that. So I think that was one point. And this is really just sort of the last piece to this. We did the same thing with the house to the west of it, that little house. It's actually attached to the condominium. It was peeled off in fee simple. What gets difficult with having it as part of the condominium is insurance and a mortgage. It really makes it the financing. Unfortunately, Steve was able to do that, but future owners, it just is hard to peel that apart. And so that's really the advantage. If anything in the future that additions or at all, it'd have to come in front of the boards and commissions to get modifications to that. And I think the other thing is that, that the project's completely done and completely landscaped and all the fencing's up and all that everybody that lives there and lives in the neighborhood understands what it is. So if we would do this earlier, somebody could buy that and say, oh, you know what, I want to have a row of whatever in there, or take this out or whatever. Now it's sort of an as-built condition. The home to the east of that is always been a separate lot. It's fee simple, and the new owners will hoping to complete that by the end of the year. So that'll pretty much, after all these years, be all completed and sort of be all tied up. So we're excited about that. I'm sure Steve's excited about that too, and all the neighbors too. So if there's any other questions, I'm happy to answer it.
Thank you, Mr. Whitmer. Identification of issues by staff.
This is a straightforward division, as Mr. Whitmer said, really for the purpose of establishing clear and separate ownerships. This subdivision does not allow any further development, does not involve any infrastructure construction, does not involve any change to structures or landscaping. It is solely for the purpose of allowing the current owners of the house to really stand separate and apart from the condominium. If you choose to do so, it would be appropriate to recommend both tentative and final approval, as is customarily done when we're not building roads or putting in sewers.
Thank you. Questions or requests for clarification for staff or petition? None. Okay, no questions. Moving on. Public testimony, seeing none. All right, I think it's time for us to discuss and rule. Anyone want to start?
Yeah, I don't see any issues. I mean, the historic preservation district requires us to do this. Assuming we don't violate anything else, it's permitted by, the HROSPD. So I think the staff recommendation makes sense, and I don't see any issues. So
I ditto that as well in terms of, I don't see any issues with it. It should be two separate tax things, because I'm sure the tax bill for the condominium is a lot higher than the house.
Makes sense, yeah.
no issues.
All right. Anyone like to make a motion?
So moved.
Should we actually
Yeah, we should do,
do the formal
yeah.
motion?
I will do that. Hold on here, let me just pull it up.
I'll make a motion to recommend tentative and final approval of the 363 Westminster subdivision, 2 lots through a special use permit as required by the HROSP overlay district, based on the findings presented above in the packet by the staff, and subject to the final conditions that are also listed by staff. Final plat, fees paid, any future improvements or variance requests will be subject to review and approval by the appropriate board, commission, and the city council.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
I will second Commissioner Pickas's eloquent articulation. Thank you. It's been a while since we had our last meeting.
I know, it's been a while. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. Motion passes.
Thanks so much.
Thank you. Huh? All right. It's good. Moving on. Next item on the agenda is a request for a recommendation in support of readoption of the city's official zoning map as required by the code on a periodic basis. The update incorporates previously approved zone changes. No zone changes are proposed as part of this update. It's presented by city staff, so I will turn it over to Kathy.
As required by state statutes, the city periodically has to readopt our official zoning code. Our official zoning map. As mentioned, Chairman Pasquesi, this map does not approve any new rezonings. This simply formally incorporates any previously approved zone changes into the official zoning map for the city. The changes on this map include the zone changes you recently recommended for Lake Forest Open. So all of those involve changing residentially zoned property to OA, open area, to reflect their long-term use, perpetual use as preserved open space. So if you choose to do so, it'd be appropriate to approve a motion recommending to the City Council approval of the updated official zoning map for the city.
Thank you. Any questions?
I just had a question. On the map, it says area of request. Is that what you're talking about with the open? Is that the areas?
Yes, those are the most recent zone changes, again, that already came before this.
Okay.
So I wanted to show you those. So on the first version, those areas are highlighted.
Yeah.
Second map would actually be official, updated, approved zoning map.
Okay,
But I just wanted to remind you of what the changes are since the last update.
thank you.
And again, the last update was 2024, is that right?
Yes, 2024.
All right, any discussion or further questions? It's pretty straightforward, almost a formality.
Yep.
So would anyone like to move to, go ahead.
Motion to recommend adoption of the updated official zoning map to the city council.
Second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, motion passes. All right, other items. Opportunity for public to address Plan Commission on matters not on the agenda. Seeing none. Additional items from staff.
We have a couple petitions in the discussion phase. One, a possible zone change, a couple others. I don't know if they'll be complete and filed in time for the next meeting, but we will let you know. On Monday, we anticipate the new member be appointed to fill Jamie Moorhead's spot. He did term off after 6 years. We will invite him back to your next meeting so you can officially recognize him and thank him for his service.
Perfect.
That's
Any question on Westlake Forest cell tower issue? Anything happening with that? And what's going on there?
Based on your recommendation, the city council did approve a new tower at the compost center off of Route 60. The city did enter into a lease with Tower North, the tower building company. Environmental surveys have been done on the property, utilities are being extended. The tower is anticipated to be constructed by the end of this calendar year. These things don't happen quickly. They are awaiting a number of federal approvals from various agencies. Verizon will be the first provider to locate on the tower. They're scheduled, they currently aren't at the compost center, so they will be a new provider in that area. They're scheduled to locate on the tower the first quarter of 2027. Following that, AT&T and T-Mobile, which are both located on the city's elevated water tower out there, will both relocate to the new tower. In doing that, they will upgrade their antennas since they'll be taking them off. AT&T is currently on top of the water tower. You see the antenna arrays go by. T-Mobile is below the bulb, so they will be at a higher elevation. That is not expected to solve all the problems in the Fourth Ward, and particularly Waukegan and Everett Road. It should offer some help. The council is committed to doing a study after those new antennas are up and having further discussion. I do know that some private property owners in that area are talking with some wireless carriers and tower builders. Those are discussions the city's not involved in, but if there was to be a proposal for antennas, rooftop antennas or a tower on private property, that would need to come before the Plan Commission, because you would need to consider an amendment to the code. So at some point, I would anticipate something is going to come back to the commission on that. I can also tell you that the antennas on top of Lake Forest High School were updated recently in the last 6 months. The antennas at the 580 Bank Lane building are being updated. So the companies are looking and trying to update what they can, but without what they call a major site in that southwest quadrant of the city, it makes it very difficult to enhance service with any lower level antennas, is my understanding. So we're making some progress, not sure to solve the whole problem.
Good to know. I only ask because if it was possible, it seems like cell service is worse in Westlake Forest than it's ever been. I mean, honestly, that southwest corridor, I mean, it's awful.
In fact, I had a call today about it.
Yeah.
So I hear about it all the time.
I didn't think it could get worse. It might have. I'm not sure. So,
Well, and it pulls down everything else too, right? Ultimately, because they're sucking transmission.
Correct.
Or else, so,
Correct.
because it feels worse than ever
Yeah.
in southeast Lake Forest too. So,
And the city doesn't, we don't provide that service. We don't control it. The companies need to find that it's an economic benefit to them to invest in our community.
okay. Thank you for that. Any other items before we wrap this up? All right, I'd love to hear a motion.
Motion to adjourn?
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, meeting adjourned.